For this project, I'm using this beautiful kitchen towel, and this is what it looks like on the other side. It also has some beautiful pink colors too. So what I do is I just try to match the colors in this beautiful kitchen towel. So I'm going to use beige, a purple color that matches the purple in the towel, then just a different color of purple, a pink color that matches the pink trim, and then a light green color that matches the green in this towel. So you can have fun with your kitchen towel, whatever kitchen towel that you choose for your project, and then pick some fun colors to use. Here's another example. A lot of people like to give wine as a gift, and this wine towel or kitchen towel has beautiful colors in the grapes and on the trim at the bottom. So I just picked colors in the towel and used those colors to make the dress. And I'm not going to make this dress on video or the colors for this one because they're darker colors. That's why I'm going to show you one with lighter colors, more pastel colors, but you can make this style dress and hand towel if you wanted. I would recommend that you hand wash these at first because the darker colors do leak a little bit. I've been using the matching hand towel that goes with this dress. This one's just a little bit damp because I've been using it. I just wanted to see if the colors would blend with each other, but they don't. So like I said, the deeper colors do tend to bleed a little bit, so I would recommend hand washing, but they don't affect the other colors in the beautiful washcloth that you make, and it works great. One of the things that you can do for your hand towel if you're giving it as a gift is you can just kind of fold it. And then you can tie a ribbon around it. Then it looks just really pretty. And you could place it with your favorite specialty soap. Also, this one I have from Mistral Luxury Soap, Lavender. And this one is the Lychee Rose. And you could see how it would match beautifully with any of these as a nice gift. I used my F or 4mm crochet hook, and you're going to need a pair of scissors and the tapestry needle. The yarn that I'm using is I love this cotton. It's really soft and it's not very expensive. And the other thing I like about it is they have a free pattern. Most of them I found are crochet, but there was one that was knit. I couldn't find anywhere though on the yarn where it said whether it was a crochet or if it was knit. But this is just a little bit more information on the yarn. The first thing I'm going to start with is my beige colored. You could start with whatever color yarn that you want, but I'm going to start with my beige. The first thing you're going to want to do is fold the yarn over on itself to form a loop. Take your crochet hook and just put it right through the loop. Hold the base of the loop with your middle finger and your thumb. Then you're just going to yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and bring the yarn through the loop for your slip knot. Then you're just going to make a chain. So I'm just going to show you 4 of them. But you're going to want to make a chain of 54. So just yarn over, turn the hook upside down, and go through the loop for 1, 2. And you can see how I'm moving my fingers up, holding the yarn as I make my chains. 3, 4. So go ahead, finish making 54, and then come back. This is what it should look like after you finish your chain of 54. And I get asked a lot about how you can make it longer or shorter. And for this pattern, if you want to make it longer or shorter, then just go by multiples of 9. For the next row, you're going to hold that last stitch with your middle finger and thumb. Then you're going to make a chain of 3. That's going to count as your first double crochet for the next row. Now you're going to make a double crochet into the 4th chain from the hook, which is the stitch that you're holding. Just a yarn over, go into the 4th chain from the hook, bring up a loop, 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2, 2 loops remaining, yarn over and go through 2. Now we're going to start our pattern that you're going to repeat. So in the next 3 stitches, you're going to make 1 double crochet. Then in the next stitch, you're going to make 3 double crochet into the same stitch. Oops, you want it in the same stitch. So I just made 3 double crochet into the same stitch. Now you're going to want 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches and then repeat. So I'm going to do one more set with you just for this first row so you get the hang of it. But that is the pattern that you're going to make 1 double crochet in 3, 3 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet into 3. Then you're going to skip 2 stitches, work a double crochet into the 3rd stitch, then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next 2 stitches because you want 1 double crochet into 3. Then you're going to make 3 double crochet into the next stitch. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches. And that's how your work will look. So you're going to skip 2 stitches and then repeat that pattern. 1 double crochet into 3 stitches, 3 double crochet into the next stitch, and then 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, skip 2 stitches, and then repeat. You're going to do that all the way across and then come back and I'll show you what to do next. This is how my work looks so far. And I just finished a set of 1 double crochet in 3, 3 double crochet, and then 1 double crochet in 3. I have 1 stitch left. I'm going to make 2 double crochet into that last stitch. Now I'm going to change colors. So I'm going to get my next color that I want to use. I'm going to use my purple color, one of my purple colors. So I'm going to take and hook my new color and bring it through my loop. Then I'm going to chain one. Then I'm going to turn my work over, cut my previous color. Make sure you leave enough loose yarn in to bury into your work. Go ahead and tie a knot. Then you're just going to take and chain 3. Then you're going to turn your work. Then you're going to work around the loose yarn ends. You're going to bury them as you work. So you're going to make 1 double crochet into each of the stitches until you get to the middle double crochet of your 3 double crochet on the previous row. So you go into the next stitch over. You're not going to work into the same stitch, the base stitch of your first chain 3. You're going to go into the first stitch next to it. So just yarn over, go into that next stitch behind the loose yarn ends, bring up a loop. You have 3 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2. 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through 2 for a double crochet. Then you're just going to make 1 double crochet all the way to the center double crochet of the previous row's 3 double crochet in the same stitch. And then once you've buried your loose yarn ends, actually I'm going to keep on burying them because the more you bury them, the better that your product is going to stay together and not come apart. So now I'm at that middle double crochet of the previous row's 3 double crochet into the same stitch. So I'm going to make 3 double crochet into that same stitch. So 3 double crochet into that same stitch. Then you're going to make 1 double crochet into the next, in my case it's 1, 2, 3 stitches, and then you want to skip the 2 stitches that form the gap on the previous row. So you're going to skip those 2 stitches and keep the gaps lined up. So now, before I make my last double crochet, I'm going to go ahead and cut my loose yarn ends. And then I'm going to make my last double crochet. You can see how my work looks so far. Then I'm going to skip the 2 stitches over the gap, and you're just going to keep repeating this all the way across. I'm going to make one more set with you. So I'm going to make 1 double crochet, and in this case it's going to be 1 and 3, and then in that middle double crochet of the previous row's 3 double crochet in the same stitch is where you want to make your 3 double crochet in the same stitch. So it's that simple. I'm going to change colors with you one more time after we're done with this row, just to make sure you got the hang of it. But every row is made the same way. And you can see how it's forming a very beautiful ripple stitch. So you'll skip the next 2 stitches and repeat all the way across to the other side and then come back. This is how your work should be looking now. And when you get to the end and finish your set of 1 double crochet and 3 double crochet into that previous row's middle double crochet, and then 1 double crochet and 3, you should have 3 stitches left on the end. You're going to skip 2 stitches to that last stitch. Then you're going to add your new color. I'm going to use my green color. And you're going to change colors the same way. I'll do it one more time with you, and then I'll just let you change colors on your own. I'm going to cut my previous color that I was using. Then tie my knot. Then you're going to chain 3. And this is how you're always going to start each row. Unless, of course, you're keeping the same color, then you would just chain 3 and then turn your work. Then you're going to bury your loose yarn ends like you did before, and you're just going to make 1 double crochet into the next stitch, and then you're just going to make 1 double crochet into every stitch until you get to the previous row's 3 double crochet in the same stitch, and then you're going to make 3 double crochet into that middle stitch. I'm just going to do this first one with you. Then you're just going to make one double crochet, and it should be in the next 3 stitches. And then you're going to skip the 2 stitches that form the gap, and you can see how your gaps will be lined up directly above each other. That's what you want. And this is where I'm going to go ahead and cut my loose yarn ends. And then I'm going to make one more double crochet. Then I'm going to skip 2. You can see how it's right over the gap. Skip 2 and then repeat. Do the same thing all the way across to the other side and then come back. This is how your work should look. You have this beautiful ripple pattern that you've created. And then I just finished one more set on the end, and I have 1, 2, 3, 4 stitches left on the end. So I'm going to skip 2 stitches and then work 1 double crochet into the last 2 stitches. Then I'm going to chain 3. I'm going to change colors first. And the next color that I'm going to use is my other purple color. And then I'll come back and show you how to start this next row. So you should have already changed colors and made your chain of 3. Now on this row, you're not going to be able to bury the loose yarn ends, so I just leave those to the side. We'll bury them later. And then you're going to skip the next 2 stitches because we created a gap. So you're going to skip the next 2 stitches and then make 1 double crochet into that 3rd stitch. And then you're just going to repeat the same way that you did for the rest of it. Just 1 double crochet into the next 3. And then you're going to make 3 double crochet into the middle stitch of the previous row's 3 double crochet in the same stitch. And then 1 double crochet into the next 3, just like we've been doing. That's why I'm speeding up just a little bit, because you're already familiar with this. But just for those that are want to make sure that they're doing it correctly. Then you skip 2 stitches and then repeat all the way back across, and then come back, and I'll show you how to finish up that row. This is how your work should be looking. You have all of your ripples where you made your 3 double crochet, and then you have all the gaps lined up. That's how it should look. And now you're on the end. I just finished another set, and I have 3 stitches left, so I'm going to skip 2 stitches and make a double crochet into that last stitch. Now you're just going to change colors and then come back. So you should have already changed colors and made your chain of 3. Then for this row, we're going to bury our loose yarn ends as we work, but instead of skipping 2, you're going to count this first chain 3 base as 1, and then you're going to skip this next stitch and make 1 double crochet into the next stitch. So you're going to skip 1. I'm going to go ahead and bury my loose yarn ends too. Then I'm going to make a double crochet into that third or second stitch, I should say. And you can see how I skipped. This is the first chain 3 base. I skipped the next stitch, and then I made my double crochet into the next stitch. And now I'm going to make a double crochet into the next 2 stitches. Just going to pull on my loose yarn ends, make sure that they stay straight. And then that should bring you to the middle stitch of the previous row's 3 double crochet. And you're going to make 3 double crochet into that next stitch. And then you're just going to repeat like you've been doing. 1 double crochet in 3, skip 2, and then 1 double crochet in 3. All the way across to the other side, and then come back. Now you can see how your beautiful ripple design should look. And I'm at the end. I just finished another set. And I have 2 stitches left this time. And this is how your work is always going to be now, from now on. It should be for each additional row. And what you're going to do is just skip that 1 stitch, and you're always going to end your row with a double crochet into that last stitch. Then you're going to change color and chain 3 for the new row. So go ahead and change color and chain 3, and then come back and I'll work the start of the row with you. So I've already made my chain 3 and turned my work. Then I'm going to yarn over, skip a stitch, just 1 stitch, and work my double crochet into the next stitch going behind my loose yarn ends. And then I'm going to work 1 double crochet into 3 stitches. And this is how the rest of your rows should work now. Skipping a stitch and then 1 double crochet in 3, and then that will bring you to the middle stitch of the previous row's 3 double crochet. Then you're going to make 3 double crochet into that middle stitch, just like you've been doing for every row. Go ahead and finish. This is how my work looks so far. And you can see now that for every row is going to end the same way. I have 2 stitches left. I'm going to skip a stitch and make a double crochet into that last this last stitch. And now you always start your rows the same way as well. So I did my chain 3. I'm going to skip 1 stitch, make a double crochet into the next stitch, make 1 more double crochet into the next 2 stitches for a total of 1 double crochet in 3 stitches. Then I'm going to make 3 double crochet into the next stitch, which is the middle double crochet of the previous row. And you're just going to repeat like you've done for all the previous rows. 1 double crochet into the next 3 stitches, and then skip 2 stitches, repeating the pattern all the way back across until you've completed. For mine, I did 17 rows. You can make as many as you want, but if you want to make it the same way as mine, I completed 17 rows. Just take your crochet hook and put it right into that stitch where you have your loose yarn end. Then just take your new color, bring up a loop, then you're going to chain one, turn your work over, and just tie a knot. Then you're going to make one single crochet into every stitch across. And I'm going to show you the side first, because on the sides it's not as easy as the top and the bottom, because the top and bottom you can see each stitch. When you're working along the sides, you're going to go into the gap beneath the double crochet. You're going underneath the side double crochet. So you go into that gap, and on the corners I'm going to go behind my loose yarn ends, bring up a loop, 2 loops on the hook, yarn over and go through both for a single crochet. Now on the corners I put 2 single crochet into the stitch on the corner, just to help make it lie flat. Then I'm going to make one more double crochet in the same gap. Then you're going to go to the next gap and make a single crochet into that gap, going behind your loose yarn ends. And you're always going to make 2 single crochet into those gaps. So now you're going to go across to the next gap and make 2 single crochet into that gap. And you're going to do that all along the side. And if you come across any loose yarn ends, go ahead and bury them. And you're going to keep making single crochets all across the side, just like that. But on the top and the bottom, it's only 1 single crochet into every stitch. You're going to make the border all the way around back to where you started, and then come back. So you can see the lovely pink border that I made all the way around, and I'm back to the beginning. Then you're just going to make a slip stitch into that first stitch that you made. Just yarn over and pull the yarn through both loops on the hook for a slip stitch. Then you just finish off, just yarn over and pull enough yarn through to bury into your work. Most of my yarn ends were sewn into the work, so I only have a couple of them, which makes it really nice. I'm going to show you how to bury your loose yarn ends. You just take any loose yarn end that you have, put it onto your tapestry needle, and then you just take and weave it through your work. And with this project, I just weave it through the same color. It's going to go one more time. Well, that's good. So then once you've weaved it through, you just cut it. Go ahead and bury all of your loose yarn in. Then you are done with your beautiful hand towel.